Good morning. It is a fantastic morning, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Knight. This is episode 62. 62 of these things. Jeez. So let's get this guy shared around here. There's the Reddit, because I got this guy figured out. Choose a community. I'm just going to choose it to me. And post. And then to my Facebook. Got a new Facebook up and running, guys. So that's nice. Let's share this to the Knightsmith group. Share to and post. I really need to become an admin in there. There's two admins, and one of them has got to get me working in there. All right, so there's a few people in here. That's beautiful. Oh, and there's already chats. Let's hop over to that. Joey, good morning. How are we doing today, buddy? I'm getting my cup of coffee. I hope you guys do too. I think this is like Folgers or Maxwell House. I don't know. I got a few things to talk about today. Nothing, super crazy. I'm going to work on a little project, as this morning starts pushing forward a wee bit. But I did get a Facebook again. So if you've gotten any friend requests or something from me, it's legit. I also figured out the issue I was having with Reddit. Pretty much, I'm an idiot. I wrote down my screen name wrong. So I did get that figured out and taken care of, and now I have access to that at home, which is ideal. Yeah. So it's good getting everything, back in working order. Yeah, that's the blunt skippy. I know I said last week I had to get that done, and I got both of those done, which is good. Yeah, let's see. Go over to the chat. Joey, doing good, trying to level up Thor in the new Avengers game between the barrage of naps I've had yesterday and blah you. I'm doing pretty good, actually. Good morning, Lara. And good morning, Alan. So I hope all three of you guys are doing well. So something cool. We went camping Friday night and most of Saturday. The in-laws had a place up at like a couple spots up at Keene Lake, and they've been up there all week. But last time we took the kid camping, he got a nasty heat rash. It was earlier this year. So this time, it was nice and cool and everything, and no heat rash, happy baby, like the entire time until like 10 or 15 minutes before he had to leave. Then he was just miserable. But I am so happy. The whole thing went so well. It was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, I mean that's the basic of it. Let's see. I'm still working on this guy. It's kind of heavy to be dropping on stuff. Still working on this guy. A lot more sanding than I thought was going to be required. But, whatever. I'm just having so much fun with it. I don't care about spending a little extra time on it, you know? It's just an absolute blast to be working on that project. What else? So I do have to thank Reddit, mostly the guys over at Leather Banter, because they corrected me on what I did wrong on this guy. Now, it looks cool, it looks interesting, turned out pretty much how I expected it to. Except there's no depth. There's no depth to it. All the depth really is created by the different colors and shading. So, and apparently this is a very common mistake when you're getting into leather carving. I didn't cut deep enough. So I went back and I just grabbed a piece of scrap that was from the same thing and just did some stuff. Now that pops a hell of a lot more, doesn't it? Has a lot more depth. And basically I just ended up cutting, 3-4 times deeper. They say cut about halfway through. I didn't get nearly a quarter of the way through, but just being able to cut, just not being afraid to cut deeper really allowed me to get the sort of depth I'm looking for. So that's just one big thing that I am very happy I got that figured out. So I don't have any scrap to try this again. However, next time I do, I think I'm gonna do almost an identical one and do it the right way to see what happens. Because it is like a cool little thing. Or maybe I should do, one of each character or whatever. But it is very cool that I got it, that I figured out that whole depth problem, and I can maybe, I don't know, make like a collage or something of them. That way you can see the progress of the carvings, and I don't know. But I am happy I got that figured out. I got the whole Facebook thing figured out. Now I just need to become an admin in my own group again. Yeah, that's pretty much it. On that front, on the side of the leather straps, I'm actually going to finish one today. But I made another, I don't even know what they're called. You know that ring at the end that you put on the hook and pull it from? I tried to do a cool looking one. The first one was just a triangle, just as a proof of concept. This one, I tried to do something a little bit more interesting. Luckily, that should be easy. It would be pretty easy to do a like collage or whatever. But this has proven to me that without, and I've always had trouble bending wire in, in a planar manner. But this has proven to me that I just need to, instead of making its own unique piece, I need to just buy one. Because I can make this, you can see how it's kind of, it's all cocked. Without putting in more time and expense than the item is worth. I don't think I can get a good custom pull with the equipment that I have. Now I could make, special bending jigs and stuff and weld things up so that it really does bend everything perfect every single time. Could cast them. I could cast them. You are right. But would, how much would that eat into my profit margin, casting them as opposed to, because this piece here is only going, these are only going to run for, I think like $150, $160. So I guess this episode is a little look into, the business side of Knightsmith, I guess, in the sense that, could I do, there's a huge vast array of things that I could do, and they all would work, but it's time versus expense. So for like casting, I'd have to get the forge set up, which I do intend on doing. Then I'd have to get the molds, get the casting sand, then I have to clean up all the castings. And if I'm supposed to be working at $35 per hour, how much is that piece going to cost to produce? As opposed to finding one that's good and classy off Amazon, and then finding that retailer and then, buying bulk from them for just, a piece. That would be, pennies. It'd be, $1 or $2. At $35 an hour. Actually, I have my phone here. So I said this is like $120, right? So it needs to take me less than 3 hours to do start to finish. Really, it should be about 2.5 hours start to finish, to make it worth it, to make it a worthwhile project for me to make and sell. And with the cutting, gluing, and stitching of all the leather, right now I'm sitting at about 1 hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. So, because then you also have to take into account, material costs and stuff and shipping. Packaging, every item has to be packaged. So it's a weird balancing act that I have to do logistically. There are some things I do want to do casting wise in the future, but for this project in particular, I don't think it's economically worth it. I know that's not a fun, sexy answer, but it's just one of those things that, and if I do want to make this a full, a real business, a full-time thing, that's one of those considerations that I have to always keep in mind. Speaking of which, Alan, have you ever done aluminum casting? Do you have any experience in it? Because it's one of those things I do want to get into. It's just I haven't gotten into. When I was much younger, I tried to buy a bunch of casts and stuff. Not casts, crucibles. And it was kind of cool because I was buying them from England and they were going to be this, that, and the other. But just never materialized, Kind of sad it never materialized because that could have been a fun thing. But it's just one of those things that, because of everything, I just don't have any experience in it. I've taken classes on it. Ooh. We do need to talk about it then. That's gotta be cool. I really need to get like at least 2 solid days, including making the Foundry. Ooh. As for the Foundry, I was gonna just go with that King of Randoms, type Foundry. Just one of those simple kind of. It's not really a blast furnace, but it has 2 burners that kind of create a cyclone on the inside around the crucible. I guess they're called like flower pot foundries or something. And what type of casting do you do? Do you do like sand casting or lost wax, or lost wax seems really interesting. What's another one that seems like it'd be fun? You got the lost wax, you got the sand casting, then there's I can't think of it. Anyways, right, so you do sand casting. I wonder if there's a way. I wonder if there's a way that I can make a mold out of some sort of high strength, like silicone or something, that's reusable. Because if I can make a good enough mold that would require minimal cleanup, I'm not saying now or in the near future, but that would provide, or that would become then economically viable to me. That could be a thing then, if that does become the case. Also use soapstone. I forgot about soapstone. Because I've always used soapstone to make pipes, which are actually really fun. The first 2 durable functional pipes I made were actually out of soapstone. I have one here, one at the shop. The one at the shop's kind of broken, which sucks. The one I have here, see, there's 2 types of soapstone, and one of them has a lot of voids in it. And that was the first run I went at making a pipe, and it works. Not great, but it works. And the other one was the voidless one, and they were so much fun to work with and carve and make nice. That really was just a pleasure to do that with, to make those things with. So, I have a question for all of you guys. There's a stamp in here, a leather stamp that I cannot recognize. I was wondering if you guys could help me out identifying what it is, or at least letting me know what you think it might be, because I'm clueless. I'll be back. Have to finish getting ready to go get my pig. Are you going to be raising pigs now, Alan, or? Oh, I'll see you when you get back. Anyways, guys, here's the stamp. I don't know if you can see that very well. I just have no idea what that is. You're going to be raising a pig for 2 weeks. You have such an interesting life. You really do. But I don't know what to say. But yeah, I have no idea what this is. Is it some sort of like an Asian character, or like I have no idea. I'm clueless as to what this is. So if you guys have any idea, please let me know, because it's gonna drive me crazy that I don't know what that is. I mean, everything else is pretty self-explanatory. You know, you have flower centers, veiners. I got a whole bunch of really cool stamps and stuff. Butterfly. All my backgrounding tools, and I got two different. Actually, I got 2 different backgrounds, which is kind of cool. I used them both on the Stormtrooper, not the Stormtrooper, the Clone Trooper. You got this one that's kind of muted, kind of just like a little pockmarked type thing, which I use for the main background, I believe. Yeah, I used that for the main background because it kind of reminded me of sand, and that's the only color I had. Yo, Joe, how's it going, buddy? I got some, I got a lot of really cool stamps and stuff, but that one, I just cannot figure it out. Just one of those things. But I do want to start finishing this guy up. Ooh, I haven't shown you guys my swivel knife. I think this thing is awesome. I forget where I got it on Amazon. It's a bayonet. At least that's what the maker's mark says. It's a nice ceramic blade. I did have a really bad issue with it, though. When I first got it, the set screw here, there was a bunch of flash from where they put the screw in, or when they cut the threads. There was a bunch of flash on the inside, so I actually couldn't even fit the blade in. I had to take a piece of sandpaper and go in there and sand it out nice and slowly before I could even get the blade in place. And the blade's already slightly chipped. Look at that. And that was my fault, though. I was cutting on the granite, and I slipped off. That will happen, I do suppose, and that's why they sell the blades separate. I probably should get buy like 2 or 3 blades, just in case, because I am still learning at this whole thing. And it should be better if I buy them now, as opposed to getting into a project, getting halfway through a project and being like, oh shite, I'm screwed, and then I have to wait 3 days or a week or 2 weeks or whatever for the blades to come in. It'd probably be better off if I grab them now as opposed to doing something stupid. Don't you think? Now, whether or not I get that far in life is another story. So like I said, I did get a new Facebook together. I did get my Knightsmith official page working over on Reddit. So let's get this guy here started. And yeah, it's 9:23 right now, so half hour. Should be more than enough time to get that glued up. And yeah. What am I doing? I should switch you guys over to the project cam. You don't want to stare at my ugly mug for longer than you have to, do you? There we go. Let's get that together, and we'll do the fade effect. Whoosh. So Joe, how are we doing today, buddy? Before I'm an idiot. There it is. It's always smart to try your best to protect your work surface. With something ablative. In this case, I'm protecting my work surface with this, and then protecting this with this, which is seems a little redundant, I guess, but this glue's getting thick. Very happy I thought of this masking idea here. Now I just need to find a better way to do the masking itself. I think, I could be wrong, I very often am, but I think that if I use maybe like a painter's tape or something. It might work a little bit better. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think a painter's tape would work better? Because this, I don't know if you guys remember, but this kind of tore up the face grain of the leather a little bit. Not a lot, but enough to be troublesome. Well, let's get this guy on here. This thicker leather just soaks it up. All this thinner stuff just takes it just so nicely. And I know I really shouldn't, but I always get a little anxious whenever I, do a glue up. Just a little twinge of anxiety, because well, once you start, you're kind of under the gun, you know? And there's always something that you don't notice till last minute. There's a piece of tape stuck in that joint. Is it a joint? I don't know what the correct nomenclature is actually. Glue surface, maybe? Two surfaces? I mean, woodworking, it's a glue joint, but okay, now let's let that all prep and dry. I think since I started at this side, I'm gonna set that side first. It's already been. See, here's the thing. See how there's not a speck of glue on this piece of paper? I can almost guarantee you that if this paper wasn't here, there'd be glue everywhere. It's getting there. Probably another minute. I'll bond this surface. Let's see. And then, you know, once all this stuff is bonded, then we'll switch over to what you call it, to the other side, and then we'll do the face cam and we'll talk about stuffs. So what's going on with you guys? Chat was active for a few minutes and it died off. Okay, let's get this one light in here. Not perfect, but this, and then we'll see what I'm saying? It tears up the grain. Do that, and then fold this guy here. Oop. Put that side down nice. And side down there. Where's my hammer? This one I want a hammer. I want to put this one under the what you call it too. Under the granite, marble, whatever that is. Just to get that good crease back here. Oh, come on, you. that worked well. So we got that done. I don't know why it's taking me a month to get that finished, but whatever. Let's get the stone on top of this. That way we get a nice good press on that. And I'm going to show you guys that when it's all said and done here. But for now, let's go back to the face, I guess, or the chat. I mean, I still see only one person in the chat, so it could be messing up again. Possibly. Well, I mean, you know, Laura was in here, Alan was in here, Joe said hi. You were in here. Let's see. Laura. Well, I slept 11.5 hours last night from sheer overworked exhaustion. You really shouldn't be working yourself to that point, Laura. Actually woke up naturally around 2 minutes before you started this morning. See, your body's trained to want some coffee with Knight. Gotta ham it up. I'm pretty good, actually. I woke up with the kid around 5:30, and then at, you know, like 5:15 until about 7:45, he just kind of slept on my chest on the couch, which was adorable. Wee bit of a headache though. Not a bad one, just a little bit. And what else was there? Yeah, just have to get a lot of stuff done around the house and stuff. And now that we're done with that camping trip, from now until Halloween, I really need to get down to the shop as often as possible, as much as possible, just so I can get everything done that I need to get done before the cold weather sets in. Otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. Let's see. You finished the thing, and now you're done. Fantastic. Always good getting the stuff done. You know, I really like this black leather that I got. I know this is kind of weird and off topic, but this was, it kind of makes me sad that it's clearance because they don't want to make it anymore. But I got this leather off Weaver, and it's, you know, fantastically priced. It was $50 for a double shoulder. And the properties of it are really interesting because it's veg tanned first, and then they went back and chrome tanned it. So the skin is like waterproof. The grain is waterproof, and dried up rubber cement, barge cement doesn't stick to it. It just, you know, rubs right off. So it's very nice to work with in that regard. And it's just such a pretty color, and it feels so soft and supple. It's nice. I really should buy like 3 or 4 more before, you know, they go out, you know, they sell out of them, but time and money. and I'm short on both. But yeah, I'm very glad you got all that done, and that's very good. I'm proud of you in that respect. Let's see. I wonder what I'm going to have for breakfast today. I need to figure that out sooner rather than later. So what else to talk about? I don't know. I'm kind of running out of things to talk about this morning. I know that's kind of strange. Because usually I can just sit here and blather on for at least an hour. It's been 46 minutes. I'm already running out of steam. Weird. Let's see. Oh, I never posted this to Twitter. I usually don't get anyone from Twitter. So I do have good news. The whole YouTube thing is actually starting to pick up a little bit more steam. I am now at 459 subscribers. I gained like in this month. I gained an additional 7 people, which is awesome. I do need to, however, go through and clean up the comment sections. A lot of things, because a lot of people. I see this one from Tigrant, whatever. 52 seconds into the video, they posted an ad in the comments section. That's one of those things I just need to go through and clean up, especially if I'm going to be looking for brand deals or sponsorships in the near future. That's one of those things that they look at. So I'm not sure how I'm going to end up doing that, because a lot of times it's like random nonsense. But it's one of those things that'll get figured out eventually, I'm sure. However, I did get fully kicked out of the partner program now. It's been over a year since I was kicked out when they made those changes after the adpocalypse to the partnership program, which is why I need to get 1,000 subscribers, and within 1 calendar year need to get 4,000 hours of watch time. And right now I am sitting at 459 subscribers and 1,500 hours watch time. So once I get this whole thing figured out, it'll start paying for itself again, which will be fantastic. But it's just one of those things that well, like I said with the whole spiel, I said with the hanger piece. I don't even know what it's called. The clippy thingy on the end of a strap. It's all an economic balancing act. I could go whole hog on the whole YouTube thing, and I'm pretty sure it'd be done by now. However, I need to balance that between having a job, being a husband, being a father, working in the shop, doing commissions, and then also having some sort of a personal life. So there's a lot of things up in the air, and I could be more consistent on how I produce and deliver content. That's one of those things that would help if I was able to get an editor, just to do even just the talking head videos, take that off my plate so I can get those scheduled and put up, because I have like 20 some videos. I just need to get them edited and thrown on. A lot of things are just a weird balancing act of time and money, which, not sexy, but I guess that's the way life goes, right? So let's see what is going on in YouTube world. Got another few minutes here. Ooh, I'm live and there's 3 people watching. Some Roberta Blake stuff. Some news, which I don't want to be a news channel, so we're not going into that. China 100-watt laser at work, real-time cutting of plywood 3D model. I really wish I could get a laser, but it's just one of those things that I don't think is just in the cards for another few years. And if I do get a laser, I'm going to go, top class, and get a Glowforge. And I definitely get the Glowforge Pro, just because of the obscene amount of utility that they have in them. And they look so easy to use. They're so user friendly. So it's just one of those things that is definitely worth it. But before I can get that, I need to get the new shop all done and taken care of. I want to get a paint booth made in there. I need to get a new table saw because the one I have is junk. There's just a myriad of things that need to get done before I can justify an expenditure like that. I need to get the website up and running, and Joe D is the one who's going to be doing that, so I need to get the capital together for him, as well as all of the information and stuff he needs to start on that. There's just a lot that I need to get done. I need about $10,000, 3 of me, and an extra 4 hours every day, at least. Ooh, 3 simple hacks to skyrate your Etsy sales. I've kind of abandoned Etsy. I don't know if that's a good move or not, but I think it's a good move. Yeah, there's nothing really exciting going on YouTube that we can talk about. What about the news? How did the NBA overlook one of the best shooters in basketball? I don't follow sports. Doctors finally constructed a hierarchy of healthy low carbohydrate diets. No thanks, I love my carbs. The true story of the married woman who smuggled her boyfriend out of prison. That sounds like a cool read. The Baloney Detection Kit. Carl Sagan's rules for critical thinking offer cognitive fortification against propaganda. Cracking the mystery of the worldwide hum. What is this? Let's open that one in a new tab. That's one that has to get looked at. How to take the perfect breath. Shut up. Vikings may not be who we thought they were. And I got a message from Laura. Canoe building is so nifty. Yeah, that is really cool. That's a strip built canoe. Which in essence you're using very thin, like 1-inch strips. And you're wiring or nailing them down to a frame. And then epoxying or finishing them over that. They're strip built. There are carved, and then the third type, which is the type I want to do, is a stitch and glue. And basically, with the stitch and glue, you use shaped pieces of plywood, super thin, and you put a ton of little holes all around the perimeter that match up to all the adjacent panels. And then you take wire. You want to use either copper or aluminum. Copper's better. And you feed them through those holes, and you tighten it down really good. And it kind of acts as, it stitches it together. And you go through and you fill it with, the joints and fill the joints with an epoxy and sawdust mixture to give it a interlaced matrix. And that's the stitch and glue. And then you fiberglass around that, over top and around that. But yeah, strip building is, it leads, it gives you such a pretty result, but it's very finicky. Very finicky. Cracking the mystery of the worldwide hum. He created the World Hum and Database Project so people around the world could document their own experiences. What is this about? This is fascinating. Those usually start later at night between 10 and 11 p.m. My first clue something usual happened came when the realization the sound didn't fade away like plane noises. I'm going to have to really read into this. This is interesting. Worldwide hum. Into high frequency active aural research program, HARP. That is all so fascinating. Anyways, let's get back to the show. I'm done on my tangents. No, I'm not. But we can pretend I am. Okay, so let me get back into OBS. Let me move my microphone out of the way, and let's switch over to this guy and see what the results are, shall we? Burp. Yes. That's flattened out nicely, has just a little wiggle in it, which is actually pretty much ideal. I just need to come in with a Dremel, clean up the sides, bevel everything, stitch the top and bottom, which I think that's a very pretty top and bottom, don't you? And the cool thing about using that mask is that these edges line up very, where am I? These edges line up very close. So when I do a stitch line, I can stitch all the way through without having too much of an issue once I get all these edges done. Because my biggest problem, my biggest concern was stitching through, along here. But because I have a guide, you can see everything turns out nice and even on both sides. So having that 1/8 inch setback into it makes everything nice and easy. Also, having this longer, in addition to being very pretty, this also gives me more stitches across the face of this than just a straight line. So there is a slightly practical aspect, even though I don't think it's 100% necessary. It does lend way more strength to the finished product. Okay, back to the face. So guys, that's pretty much the show for this week. And I'm out of coffee, so it has to be the end of the show. Can't have coffee tonight with no coffee. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for turning up. It really is a joy every week to sit down and have a coffee with you guys and talk with you and you know, I know this all started as an experiment during the pandemic when I was locked inside and I was starting to go a little stir crazy and you know, I just had to do something. Some way to reach out and connect with you guys. But I look forward to doing this every week with you guys. I really, honestly, truly do. It's just so much fun being able to show you, like, in real time, you know, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm talking, and be able to talk back and forth with you guys. It's really cool. So I really do appreciate it. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and thank you for helping make this world better, one kerf at a time. I'll see y'all later.